This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. On down the road, I'm gonna let it shine. On down the road, I'm gonna let it shine. On down the road, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
This is where we played basketball. It was, both teams. This is where we had weddings, and this is where we had community meetings, and this is where, we had parent, teachers, fundraiser for the school, like talent night and Black history programs, and this was part of the center of the community that brought people together to do sharing and education. But I remember that myself and I don't know, one or two other parents dance. Now I don't dance, but I was doing the Charleston. I think about that, and I'm like, and because all of this was full with students and all, but I was up there on that stage, and I remember this teacher, Miss Stewart. We didn't know she could sing, and when she sang, and I want to say the Lord's Prayer, everybody was so quiet, because her name was Katie Catherine, and she demanded respect when she sang that. And there was not a sound in this whole place. And this woman had the most beautiful voice. And it just blew everybody away. And others, would do whatever they could do. But it was parents and teachers. And it was fundraising for the special things that we needed to make the school continue to go. And we had those things that the school board did not appropriate the funding for. But we had carnivals, and we had candy apple sales and paper sales and all of that. And we raised hundreds of dollars to supplement our school. The class of 1965, part of that class transferred to Decatur High School. That was the beginning of integration in public schools in the city of Decatur. Um, it's my belief that it was 20 plus students. They were not all in the same grade, nor were they all in the high school building. For instance, my son, Carter, he was in what we refer now to as middle school. At that time, they called it junior high. There was a building for the junior high school students. And so that group, as well as the high schoolers, made up the 20 plus. I believe it was 22, not more than 23. The first year was one student graduated, one African American student, a young lady named Geraldine Thompson. She then enrolled in DeKalb College. The next year was the year when the larger group of students who had transferred into Decatur High School graduated 1967. And it was also at the end of that year that this school, Trinity High School, closed because the enrollment was small. And the decision of the Board of Education was, now is the time to really integrate the two schools. So it was done the end of the year 1967. There were some places where there were a lot of disruption. There were demonstrations, there were marches, there were some violent, but the city of Decatur was pretty smooth. There just wasn't any of that. And so when there were name calling to the students, and of course Miss Sims and myself, we were called some disrespectful names, referred to as those women or the troublemakers or the story uppers. That was fine with us. It didn't bother us. Our mission was that all kids should have an equal opportunity to be educated the same way. We were not looking for publicity. We didn't seek that. We didn't need that. We didn't want that. We wanted for these kids who had not had access to all of what the city system offered to all kids. We wanted our kids to have that. And we challenged the system. We knew that there had been those laws on the books that said separate, equal. We knew that it was always separate, but it was never equal, never. We had old books. We had a building that was built that was never completed. We had a building that was brand new that flooded before we went through the first year. We knew that we had all our activities in this kind of place. There was nothing equal about this. That's what it was about. It wasn't about what a lot of people thought it was about. Socially, we had our own, social life. We were not looking for that. We were just looking for equality. I thought about it the other night, Friday night, when my grandson graduated. And so here we are at Decatur High School, the same school that in 1965, Nicola's father and uncle were denied. So I fast forwarded from that point to Friday night. And here's my grandson. Not only is he graduating, but he's graduating in one of the top in his class. And all that Grandma asked for back in 1965, please give all of the children the same opportunity. If they have that opportunity, you know, they'll be educated. We would not have the country that we have, who's still struggling with trying to educate all of the kids the way they should be educated. And it just brought tears to my eyes to just think about it. And I'm not very emotional, but that was very emotional for me that night to see my grandson and to also be sitting in a facility that my son worked really hard to make sure the next generations of children will have the beautiful facilities. They will not have where this was not always painted and clean the way it should have been. So it was very, very special.
So, always remember your footsteps so you never get lost.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All in my home, I'm gonna let it shine. All in my home, I'm gonna let it shine. All in my home, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Don't let Satan blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, don't let Satan blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Don't let Satan blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, gonna let it shine. This little light